how did you get to know Trevor Lawrence or cross paths with him, or when did you first do that to gain the trust for the access that you received in this piece, Michael?
It was an ongoing discussion with the agency, which is how this usually goes, and just kind of I didn't really know where the story was going until I started talking to people. I didn't know a ton about him for someone who's been in the spotlight that long, and it was kind of weird because I was listening to the tape of the interview, and I swear my first question was about this very topic of you don't seem like you've got that chip on your shoulder. So I don't even remember. It might have been his parents or his high school coach who had said something that said that, but I thought what was telling to me was that he didn't mind. I said to him, I was like, people are going to take this the wrong way. He's like, yeah, I know. I don't really care. And I told him what the story would be, and he was fine with it. So I didn't really know how people would react. I'm not sure how Urban Meyer would react, but he is who he is, and he's pretty comfortable with it.
So how long did you spend with him? How often? What'd you do?
Well, we did the photo shoot and a video, and then it was about an hour interview and a couple of questions that I asked him later on with that, and I talked to his parents and his brother for a while. His brother I could have just kept talking to for weeks, I would say. He was a lot of fun. And it just went back and forth until, when you do a story like this, it's not about it's just about trying to kind of portray people as they are. And if they're comfortable with how they are, then usually everybody is kind of pleased with the result. And I have not heard back, but I felt like I portrayed him as he was.
Okay, and so who is he?
He is just somebody who loves football, has always loved every aspect of it, and is not motivated by anger. He's not motivated by insecurity, by fear. He just likes playing. And I think for anyone who's kind of successful in their career, for most of us that feel like we've been successful, you have that stretch, I'd say, when you're starting out where you might see enemies all over the place. And eventually you get to this place where you're like, you know what, I know what I'm doing. I'm comfortable with who I am. And it kind of becomes process over result. And I just think Trevor Lawrence, for whatever reason, got to that place about 10 years before most other people do, which I think is refreshing. Now, what that bodes for his NFL career 10 years down the road, nobody really knows. And I kind of raised that question in the piece. If he's had several concussions and broken bones and it hurts to get up in the morning, is he going to say my life would be better off without football? I mean, I think he's more likely to say that than someone who says they live and die with it and can't imagine life without it. But I don't assume that will happen either. I would just have to see.
Michael Rosenberg, senior writer of Sports Illustrated here on the Rich Eisen Show. And that's part of this whole deal with the talent evaluation portion of the NFL calendar, as I've seen it over the years, 2 decades damn now. And the hand-wringing, could he be the next Andrew Luck? Does he really even love football? All of that, like the conversations that you hear when it involves wide receivers, linebackers, corners, tackles, who are just like, well, they're smart. They're into other things than football. Can we really trust that guy who's going to stick with the program for 5-10 years for that evaluation? And it just drives me nuts. So now here's somebody who's like, yeah, I'm not motivated by having to prove anything. And, high school coach, football is important to him, but it's not the end of everything. It's refreshing to hear, but the fact that there's no blowback is because why? What we've seen over the last several years from Clemson, right, Michael?
Yes, exactly. There are not questions about his ability to play, and that's why he can kind of say this and not worry that he's going to, end up being the 25th pick instead of the first pick.
Right.
He's too good, so he can say it. And I think he'll never say that, but obviously he knows that. He knows what he's done. He knows where he's going. He knows the power, I guess, that he has over his own career. And when you have that kind of power, you almost don't have to exercise it. You can just kind of let it sit there and everybody knows. And that was the sense I got from him is, he's not worried about it because whatever anyone says about this is not going to affect his career.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.